Hey guys, in this video, you're not going to want to miss this. We're going to talk about the 3 tiers of marketing your home.
Hey, welcome to The Buzz, Coffee and Real Estate. We're jumping in again. This is really a favorite episode of mine because I've learned so much from this guy. So, pictures and video. What are kind of the 3 tiers of what that looks like? I have always had this idea, okay, we need to get high quality pictures. I take horrible pictures. I'm no claim to be a photographer, but you have really expanded my understanding of the ins and outs of that and some of the fine details. So we're going to jump into that. Really explain it. The easiest way, and you said this off camera, was it's really kind of 3 tiers of starting at the bottom. This is the quickest, cheapest. Here's an intermediate. And then here's a high-end or several different high-end options that you could go with. So yeah, jump into that a little bit. I'm excited.
Sure, yeah. I mean, your first kind of tier, if you will, of photography is what we all see. And a lot of times when we see it, we kind of turn and like, oh, that made my stomach hurt a little bit. But you're going to have somebody who just takes pictures with their phone. And I've seen as bad of pictures, it looked like it was taken with a flip phone. You know, it's like there's no lights on, the windows aren't open, there's, you know, they left everything and anything everywhere. So like going back to the staging video, that's a piece of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, first kind of tier, and I mean, you can do first tier well, but you need to like think it through, right? So take, you know, you got a brand new iPhone or a brand new Samsung phone, you're going to take pictures with that. You can definitely take good pictures.
They take good quality pictures.
They do. It's how do you take the picture is bigger than what you take it with. You can have a lower quality camera, but take it with the right placement and getting the right imagery to be able to really tell the story of the home. And I think that's huge. Is a lot of times we take pictures and we don't even put them in order, right? So like they're not, you know, I'm walking into the house, this is what I see. Then I'm walking down the hallway and this is what I see. It's like, well, here's a backyard picture and here's a bathroom and then here's the master. And all of that doesn't tell me the story. And that's what you're doing. You're marketing your home. You're telling the story of this is what you're going to walk into when you walk into this house. And so you want to make sure that, you know, you've done the basic things. Turn the lights on, clean the house, clutter things.
Open the blinds.
All of that is going to be huge. So, you know, first tier I would say is take some pictures, right? Take some pictures of the house, front, you know, the front of the house, the inside, the outside, and so forth. That's really
and not 6 pictures.
That's right.
Okay. Typically, what's normal is anywhere from 25 to 45 pictures.
That's right.
So get the different angles and the rooms and everything. I mean, I see real estate agents who go through real estate agents who are getting paid thousands of dollars to go through with an iPhone. They have no photographer's eye, and they're taking 7 pictures of a 2,500 square foot house and putting it online. It's a nightmare.
Oh, it's terrible.
You can't see anything from it. So you're saying pictures. Obviously, somebody would have to take a whole photography course to have like the eye for the pictures.
Sure.
But get the pictures, get a decent amount of pictures, and then is there a way to do like quick and easy video? I mean, even if it's kind of lower end?
Yeah, so I mean, you can always, and I've seen agents do this, and I've seen people that are, you know, just for sale by owner doing it. But, you know, you have, your phone has a video camera on it, right? You can go through and take a video of the house, walking through it. I would not recommend that you talk through it. Put some music on in the background, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy, and you can get that.
Not music in the background in the house itself.
Yes,
you're talking about
in the video.
Film it on mute, and then put it into some sort of video editing program to add a little bit of music on.
Or even, you know, just do it on your phone. There's thousands of apps that you can edit video on your phone like that, and it'd be very simple. And, you know, it's not like we have this, you know, high expectation if you're doing it in that format. So go and walk through it. Now, the other side of that is you've got 2 options. You can shoot it in a portrait mode, which is going to be up and down, kind of like long frame, right? What like, we short reels or shorts or something like that. You can shoot the house that way. You can go in and you can shoot them in a landscape format, which is what you'd see on YouTube or something like that. It'd be a full-on, you know, walkthrough. So those, you need to figure out what option you're going to do. And the same thing for your pictures. Make sure that you shoot your pictures in a landscape format. Do not shoot them in a portrait format, even if the bathroom is tiny, and we felt that pain before.
Yeah, for sure. We had some small spaces to try to fit it in.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that those pictures are done in that format. They look professional versus looking like, you know, random pictures that have been taken. So that's first tier.
Okay, lowest tier. Pretty much like a few minutes, zero cost almost.
Totally.
If you got a smartphone.
Yeah, you got a smartphone, you can do that.
Okay.
Now, would we recommend that?
No.
No, we would not.
No, that's still going to be subpar quality, but like that's better than nothing.
That's right.
Okay.
So then you go to second tier. Second tier is going to be, I'm going to hire a professional photographer to come in and take pictures of the house. And I'll add this into second tier. It may go third tier, but you could shoot drone footage of the house.
You could.
Right? And it'd just be pictures. Some agents I have seen, they will do an outside drone video of the house, and then they'll do pictures from the drone, and then they'll take interior photography pictures.
But no interior video in that scenario.
Yes.
Okay, so what you're saying is, at least we've got professional pictures now.
Yep.
We potentially have some drone pictures for aerial shots of the house, the yard, the neighborhood, all of that.
Yep.
Especially if there's land, that's really
right.
nice. And then potentially we could be throwing in a little bit of video from the drone that just is a little spin shot or something where it gives a little bit of interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I had one house that I had a buyer buy the house, and what we did was we went on the MLS, and they had shot a little video, and it was like a 10-acre land.
Okay.
You know? So it was worth seeing. It gave us an idea of what it looked like.
Yeah.
But they did that. You know, they did some kind of like interior shots showing the house in the front and the back and all of that, and then they showed the land off and so forth. It was 30 seconds long.
Okay.
But it gave my buyer the visual before we drove an hour and a half to go see it.
Gotcha.
And they're like, man, this is a good set of land. You know, like it's really flat. It's laid out.
Yeah.
You know, I could put my horses. I could do this and that.
Okay.
And so that was helpful.
It was a big value to them.
That's right.
And probably it gave them the confidence to make that long drive.
That's right.
Instead of, I don't know, we don't want to potentially waste the gas.
Exactly.
So it probably helped get that house sold.
It totally did.
Okay.
I mean, that was one of the selling points for them. After they had left, I asked the agent, hey, can we keep this footage? And she said, yeah, you can. And so I took it and I put it into a little walkthrough video for them as a buyer, and so they could see their house.
Gotcha.
And it was a great thing for them to be able to show to their family and their friends and whoever, hey, this is the house we're thinking about buying or something.
So if we're talking pictures, professional pictures, they're real estate photographers.
That's
you
right.
don't necessarily want to get somebody who shoots babies but has no training in a
right.
house. That also covers editing. So we've got photographers that'll add fire in a gas fireplace or an outside fire pit to give it a little more interest. They'll do the lighting editing. I did not realize how complicated lighting editing was till I met this guy. Windows that look like they're what they call blown out, where you're trying to take a picture of the inside and it's a sunny day and it just looks like there's just a super glare coming from the outside. Those are all things that you got to take into consideration, and a professional photographer knows how to make those edits to where it looks spacious, it looks clean, and the lighting is either not too bright or too dark.
Yep.
That runs us, depending on the house, $175 to $250 for just the inside and outside still pictures, no drones. That's probably another $150 added on to it.
Yeah, it depends on the package, but I think probably I would say $75 to $150 depending on what they're doing.
So anywhere you're into the few $100 range if you're paying to do it yourself, and then we'll talk a little bit on the next video about what it is that we actually do ourselves for our realty team. But that would be mid-grade. So we've spent a little bit of money. It's a little bit more time. We got to get somebody out there. But we've got a much higher quality multimedia product that we're going to put online.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. So tier 3, you're looking at the full-blown, you're going all out kind of package, right? So you've already done professional photography. You've already done drone pictures. Now we're adding in actual video or even Matterport. Both of those are 2 additions. So you're doing a virtual tour of the house, basically a video walking through the house in a professional format, not with your phone. They're coming in and they're fully geared up. Like they've got a DSLR they're shooting with. They're putting that on a gimbal. They're walking it through the house. It's got a wide angle lens that shows everything. They know how to color grade. All of that's being done. So it looks like a movie of your home.
Yeah.
And then
typically a minute to a minute and a half by the time they get everything edited down.
That's right. Yeah. And if it's a really big house, you might have, up to 3 minutes. I wouldn't go much more than that. That'd be too much. But about a minute. I like to keep all of our videos right at a minute because we can take them and put them into different formats.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about once we get done of the actual, like, you've got the video and pictures, what do you do with them? Okay, so don't worry, we're going to dig into all of that. We just haven't gotten there yet.
That's right. So I will give you this, just a nugget. So video itself is not always one type, right? So you have Reels, which is huge right now as far as in the marketing side. But what that is that's a portrait videoed home. So
like you were taking it on your phone like this.
That's right. Yep. So when you'll see a lot of these, if you look them up on Facebook or on YouTube Shorts or something like that, you're going to see people are doing virtual tours in a portrait mode and they're not shooting these with their phone, they're shooting them with a camera. But that is one thing that people are kind of somewhat migrating to in some element. It's more trendy. And then people are still doing a landscape form, so they can put that on Facebook and YouTube and some of these other elements. And so this can get pricey quickly if you do multiple formats. We've always done landscapes. That was the normal kind of trend. And now as things have shifted a little bit, we've gone more towards the Reels. But we do both. So we still do both formats. But if you're kind of getting into it, I would say you're probably, if you're trying to stay on the lower end of the high tier, maybe just do one landscape and put that on, YouTube or Facebook or something like that. You can put it on pretty much all those platforms. But if you want to get even more trendy, go with doing a landscape and doing a portrait. You're going to want to make sure that you have drone footage of the house. And I'm talking video footage as well as pictures and your professional photography. Then you're going to go into your Reels, which is going to be another avenue of video. So you're going to have a guy that's going to shoot basically 2 separate videos for your house. And that's what we're doing right now. Now, this extra ad that you can do is called Matterport. And Matterport is basically a 360 camera that shoots the entire house. Kind of think of it as an eyeball. It's going to go and it's going to look at everything in your house. It's going to see the floor. It's going to see the ceiling. It's going to see the corner. So when you do these, and if you're a for sale by owner in this house, this is one of those things that it can make or break the sale of the house, is they can see everything.
Right. It's not necessarily recommended, is what we're saying, depending on the house, because a lot of times with video, the whole point is that you're not trying to hide things, but you're trying to present the house in such a way that will then make it inviting for somebody to come take a look at the house. Everybody knows, hey, a house that's 15 years old is going to have imperfections and stuff. But we're not trying to communicate all of that initially. And so a Matterport really is like, there is no place to hide.
That's right.
And one thing I like about the Matterport is there's a setting where you can zoom out and you can basically see the house like as a dollhouse. Like it's almost like X-ray vision, Superman X-ray vision, and it'll look down, it'll show the different bedrooms and where they're located, and it's an actual picture of it. It's really cool. But we're going to talk about in the next video why we like Matterport, why we don't like Matterport, what it is that we've chosen to do based on our strategy. But that's an option. And then, I mean, there are other 3D tours like Tour Factory and things like that. And so we'll talk about the pros and cons, what we feel of those. But what you're saying is there's video, and then there's basically several different aspects of video.
That's right.
And all of those aspects are in that second tier, but mostly in the third tier, because
that's right.
If you have it professionally done, we're now talking $500, $800, $1,000. I mean, very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if you do one video and pictures with drone, you're probably looking at $600, and that's just one landscaped video. And that could be higher. They do it by square footage most of the time. But if you do multiples and you do a lot of these extras, you could very easily spend $1,000 or $1,200.
Okay, so that's good to know, especially if you're evaluating, hey, I do it myself versus I'm talking with a realtor, I'm interviewing a realtor, and I really want to know what's their video and picture strategy, which goes back to the interviewing agents episode that we did earlier, right? Okay, so this is a huge part of the puzzle. 90% plus, 95% of folks are going to see your house online first. It's going to help them determine whether they ever want to come out and see it. So that first impression is critical. And I mean, a picture tells 1,000 words. So even really more so than the description, which we're going to talk about, but the description, whatever you're writing, people look at pictures.
That's right.
People look at video. And so are you raising their interest, or are you helping them check it off their list so they can go to another house that's better marketed? So, yes, it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
But that's a huge piece of the puzzle as to whether I for sale by owner or whether I go with a realtor. And if I go with a realtor, which one based on what they provide.
Totally. And just to add to, we were talking about the Matterports and the different types of tours and so forth. I think one big piece of the puzzle that, we don't do everything, but be very selective in what you do. Because one thing can help you and one thing can hurt you. If I'm doing a virtual tour with video, I can very easily highlight the things that are important. If I do Matterport, it's everything. It's all inclusive. You're going to see it all. But if you're selling a house and you need, you've done an inspection and you've done an appraisal and you've put all of that out there.
If it looks like a model home,
that's right.
Shoot the model home.
That's
but
right.
Just most houses we see don't look like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. I think on both of those are kind of what you can do. And one thing that we haven't really discussed, and this would be like tier 4. Because it's not really there yet, is talking about VR. There's going to be some elements of VR that are going to come into
VR is going to be
huge
for home tours, and we've not seen it come into our market in mainstream, but I don't think it's too far away.
Yeah.
Because that's going to change the whole ballgame. If I can stand in my living room and walk through the house.
That's right.
That's going to be really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, Matterport's about as close as you can get to it, but if they go the VR route where you can actually put goggles on and you can look around and all of that, it definitely is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for good and bad. Again,
that's right.
it's going to have some of the same weaknesses that Matterport will.
That's right.
In that there's maybe not a whole lot that you could hide or not hide, but again, have discreetly. Let's say you got boxes where you're packing up, but you need to stick them in a corner. Okay, cool. We can very easily not shoot that corner as we're exhibiting the living room. Whereas with a Matterport or with VR, it's going to kind of like, everything's there.
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So anyway, 3 tiers. We've just kind of basically grouped them together. We're going to go in the next episode and talk about what we do, what we found to be most effective for selling houses. And because, again, more is not necessarily better. So we'll give you our specific strategy.
Yeah. So, guys, if you can, subscribe to our channel. Go ahead and share this with somebody that may need this information. Like this video. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you think about this. If you're a realtor or if you're for sale by owner, if you've got questions, feel free to ask. We'd love to be able to have some good convo with you. But, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.